a viewer that has a question. What's your name? What's your name? Hello, guys. Mic's on. Producers backstage. Could you make sure everybody has their mic on, please? Who's next? Choose. How you doing, Choose? Where you calling from?
Minnesota.
Shout out to Minnesota.
Thank you.
Anytime you think the sex workers should sue, Cassie?
Absolutely. Trauma begets trauma. And although she was traumatized, it seems like she traumatized other people. So that,
Wow.
Yes.
She better get the hell up out the country.
I mean, if that's what they want, if that, literally, if they feel like they were sexually assaulted, which, Sean just explained, absolutely. You're complicit in your part as well. And just like we've heard that Diddy had some issues. So, it's just something that I recognize that when it's a man, it is very much overlooked. It is very much different. It's always more of in a sexualized way, like they just must enjoy it just because it's sex, and that's not the case. So absolutely men can be assaulted. Absolutely, whatever she did, if she did something to hurt someone, she absolutely, whoever she hurt, they should sue.
Okay, well, listen. Thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and take another caller. Shout out to Minnesota for repping the winos. All right, we're going to go ahead and introduce my friend and comedian extraordinaire, Flame Monroe. How you doing,
baby? Hey, baby. That's Sean Davy Way. That's my baby. Hi, Pooh.
How you doing?
Tasha, I'm good. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Fantastic. Glad to see you. I'm glad that you took a few minutes to come out and spend some time with us today. And I know you were in between like gigs and everything like that. So that's why you were in the car. And I was like, get Flame on now. Because unfortunately, we won't be able to get Ray J on today or any of our other guests, but we are going to be verdict watching tomorrow. So we'll have them on tomorrow. But Flame, as far as your thoughts on this entire Diddy trial, a verdict has been reached. The jury could not come to a decision on count one, which was the big one, the RICO racketeering. They have reached decisions on count 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we should expect them to be reading tomorrow or being forced to deliberate. So that should be interesting tomorrow. But what are your thoughts on what's going down with Diddy?
Diddy, can't you see? Sometimes your baby will hypnotize me.
Oh,
you know what? I'm not laughing at the situation. I think it's terrible, first of all, for all parties involved, especially the women. Secondly, for the people that knew about it, didn't say anything, to hell with them, because you knew this was happening. Money, and now the same situation is happening with the situation that we're in with this country, from the top. You're allowing this shit to happen and go on and on and on without saying anything, which it doesn't make you complicit, but it makes you a coward, that you're watching injustice and you're watching things happen to women that we claim to actually love and respect. And a lot of men sat around, and a lot of women sat around and watched these things unfold and said nothing because they were afraid of losing their situation or possibly their life from what some of these reports are possibly saying. I don't know whether Diddy is guilty or innocent, but from the tape that I saw, he kicked Cassie. I'm not with that at all. Men don't. First of all, you're gonna fight a woman, but then for you to kick her repeatedly, and we saw this, you cannot not unring a bell. If they lock his ass up, they lock his ass up. That's how I feel. And I don't want to see the trial. I want to see the tape. I want to see who's on the tape. By the way, when tape number 17 dropped, that was not me. That was AI. That was not me. That was AI.
I want to see the tape. What was they doing up in there? So, Flame, you've been in Hollywood a long time. You done been around the big ones. Dave Chappelle, everybody. You ain't never been to no freak off?
First of all, Dave don't do freak off parties. And no, I have never been to a freak off.
Have you freaked off on your own, though?
Now you get in my business, Tasha. Get out my business, lady. Get out my business, lady. Girl, get out my business. Look at her. Sean, get your girlfriend. Get your girlfriend, Sean.
Like, do you think juror, what is it, 25, the gay white man, do you think that he is more so a team Diddy because he sees a lot of Diddy himself like a fellow gay, or?
No, see, now that's where it gets a little cloudy for me. I don't want to say that all gays agree with each other. As you know, most of the gay community don't even agree with my point of view, especially when it comes down to protecting and defending a biological woman. So I'm not going to say that because then that's just putting them all in a box. I just believe that Diddy's lawyers threw enough doubt in it to say, hey, we're not sure. That is where he is paying these lawyers the big bucks because all you have to do is plant a seed of doubt to say, I don't see it like this, and you can win. He's paying great money to make these lawyers throw seeds of doubt in these judges' minds so he can get off on this case. And he may get off.
Okay. Well, listen, we got an update. I want to read to you both. The judge is now addressing both sides' proposals. So the judge is back on the bench now. This is updated about 4 minutes ago, addressing both the prosecutors and defense attorneys' proposals on how to move forward. The government has asked for a modified Allen charge. Okay. The defense says it's too early for that, and they seem to want more gentle language. An Allen charge is a set of instructions that ask the jurors to re-examine their own views and opinions in order to reach a decision. So basically, they're trying to force the jury to make a decision. What do y'all think?
I think that they're indecisive. I think it's 5 against 6, 4 against, like, I think it's like more so closer to an even number.
They said it's 8 men and 4 women.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think everybody agrees. Yes, him beating Cassie, him doing drugs, him flying prostitutes in and stuff. Those are basic things. But the conspiracy, I just don't think it should have been a federal case. That should have been something that was handled at the state level. Flame, what do you think?
I think they're trying to do it on a federal case because I do believe that if he gets off, I believe that Donald Trump will pardon him. I believe that in my whole spirit. When he said that about a week or two ago, that if Diddy got off, they asked would he pardon him. I've seen older tapes when Trump was a younger man and he was hanging out with Diddy. There's no telling whether he is on the tapes or not. We don't know, but I do believe that he may pardon him because they hung out. They were buddies. They might know secrets about each other. It is coming from way up high. I hate the fact that a lot of young women will see that and see the things that happened to Cassie and so many other women. And if he gets off, they'll think that that's okay, that that's the way life is. That is not the way life is, unfortunately. But if he gets off, it's sending a message to so many younger women and men that this is how the way life works, which is not.
That's a heavy one.
I wish I would have been to a Diddy party.
Cassie got paid. Do you feel Tasha, huh?
Women are freaky. Let me say, some women are very freaky. Some women are very freaky. Let me say that because they always say it's just a man, it's just a man. And she got paid, and I don't care that she got paid. Abuse is still abuse. Pay me, but don't kick my ass. Pay me, but don't whoop me. Pay me, but don't make me feel less than. Treat me at least as not, if I'm not your equal, at least treat me like that publicly. But he humiliated her not only publicly but privately. And unfortunately, we saw those tapes. You cannot unring that bell. I don't know what they're going to do, but I do believe Trump's going to pardon him. If I was Diddy, when Trump said he was going to pardon me, I would have been out in 3 days.
You were breaking up. You said when Trump said, you said when Trump said what?
That he would pardon Diddy. He would possibly pardon Diddy. If I was Diddy, I would have fired all my lawyers that day and saved whatever money I had left and just waited and pled guilty and got pardoned by Trump.
Okay. We just got another update from the judge. He says he intends to tell the jury, I ask that you keep deliberating. And so, Judge, I don't even know how to say his last name. I don't care. Aaron, said he intends to tell the jury, I ask that you keep deliberating and that Then recite some of the lines about the deliberations and his instructions. So he's basically forcing their ass back into the room. I know they're ready to go home, but I just don't think they're going to make a decision, because it is a very hard thing. And I knew that when they were fussing in the beginning, sending notes, it had to do with that big one. The other ones are a slam dunk. So,
well, the big one is not in federal court. The other charges are state charges. The conspiracy charge is the big boy. That's the one that got the prosecution to be able to bring this into make it a trial in the first place, based off of Cassie, which to me is a walking humiliation herself. I don't think that she necessarily needs Diddy to humiliate her. Again, I'm all for victims, and Cassie to me is a victim, but I could say the same thing about Diddy. If Diddy was doing all of this stuff, then I'm sure somebody victimized him as well, but it does not excuse his behavior. It does not mean because somebody did this to you or showed you the ropes that you have to go around and do these things to other people. You did not. And the same thing goes for Cassie. Because Diddy showed you these ropes does not give you the right to go and create victims and just say that you're sorry later. Diddy did the same thing. Although he lied and said that Cassie's lawsuit was fictitious and that none of those allegations were true, and then the hotel video dropped of us watching him pummel that girl through that hallway and whatnot, then he comes with an apology video and he states that he was sorry. Well, Cassie did the same thing on the stand. She apologized to all of the people basically in the past while she was kicking it with Diddy that she victimized, ridiculed, and treated like Kim Porter's own best friend stated that Diddy made Cassie make Kim Porter put a used tampon in her mouth and whatnot just to humiliate her, to show Kim Porter that I am above you, allegedly. That source comes from Kim Porter's best friend and whatnot. So again, I understand that Diddy made Cassie do a lot of things, but when are you going to be accountable for the things that you did yourself? You are a puppet, yes, but at some point in time, you went rogue. You did things on your own. Not everything Diddy. Please, that is an excuse. Yes, we have people in our lives that control us, that manipulate us, that gaslight us, that love bomb us, but there's a way of coming out of it. There's a way of getting away from that and whatnot. And she did. So now that she has, be accountable for your part. She hasn't.
Let me jump in real here. Flame, do you want to add to what he's saying? I know you gotta go, and I want you for tomorrow for the jury deliberations, because I gotta hear your thoughts. But I know we're having some connection issues. Do you want to touch on that before we drop you down? It's frozen. Flame, please come back, log out and come back in. We have a special guest waiting backstage that just joined. Is he ready? Okay, Benzino, welcome to the live. How you doing? Why is you naked outside,
what's up,
Benzino?
What's popping?
I'm good. Why is you naked outside? Where you at? Down at the courthouse?
No. I'm at Aquatica. It's a water park.
Okay, you with the kids today?
Yeah, I'm with the kids. Yeah, I'm with Ashley. We over here. We just having a good time. Tiffany called. I didn't know what it was about, so I just hit you up. How you been?
I appreciate that. Now we want your thoughts on this case. So the jury the jury came in and they made a decision on counts 2, 3, 4, and 5, but they can't seem to agree on count 1. What are your thoughts? You know Diddy.
Man, I'm gonna be honest, man. You know, I'm praying for the victims. I'm praying for Diddy, his family, but me, I'm not with none of that violence, none of that crazy shit, putting hands on people, making people do stuff. I'm not with that. Now, you know, this when all this first happened, everybody was kind of against Diddy, and it's good to see people supporting, because we have to support our own. But to me, I think they proved transparent prostitutions over state line. I think they proved that. Okay, I think that's kind of proven. Now, as far as everything else, when they started asking about the drugs and about distribution, they wouldn't be asking about that if they didn't find him guilty on the other charges. You see what I'm saying? You know, so it's you know, only God knows at this point. But I do think that one count is 100% going to stick, and that's the transferring prostitutes over state lines.
The Mann Act.
Yes.
But I
which
mean,
which Tasha, a lot of motherfuckers would be guilty of. Okay, all right. So,
Zeno, let me ask you a question because you was
yeah,
you was big league at one time with the source. Were the
right.
fans ever watching y'all at this level?
Listen, I ain't, me, I'm a private person. I wasn't up at Diddy's parties. Stevie was my friend, and Stevie and Diddy are good friends, but you know what I'm saying? The separation was there. I really never dealt with Diddy on that level. Dave, my
No,
partner, dealt
I'm
with
saying
him
you
on.
as being a source owner, and you remember the source, it kind of ignited in some instinct the East Coast versus the West Coast beef. All that shit went down at the Source Awards when you owned it. Like, did the feds ever try to target you and your companies in
Well,
a federal indictment?
listen. So I got indicted, but for tax evasion. But that for 2 years they was investigating me for much bigger. It was a RICO. Like I was being investigated for 2 years for RICO. They interviewed 160 people. It was extortion, money laundering, 2 counts of murder, all kind of shit. And
What?
God rest my mother. The feds went to her and said, look, tell him to cop out to 25 because he's gonna get life if he don't. So, I didn't cop out. They wired the accountant at the source for 8 months, and I ended up getting indicted for tax evasion. So I took that to trial and I beat it. I beat the federal government.
How did you beat that? That's unheard of. How did you beat that case?
Well, because, our accountant was wired. Our accountant was supposed to be doing my taxes. I'm a guy from the streets. I don't know a W-9 from a W-7 from a W-2. It was his job to file my taxes, not wear a wire to get me caught up. And I think that's what the jury, it was an all-white jury, you know what I'm saying? And they came back not guilty in 3 hours. I couldn't believe it. I was only looking at 5 years, but still.
I mean, that's still a long time. And I mean,
I mean,
I
I mean,
feel like there's a trend when it comes to cases. At first, it was the drug dealers. Then they start going after artists like Wesley Snipes, Lauryn Hill, all these people for tax evasion. Now it's the RICO with the CEOs of the record labels. You know what I'm saying? Irv Gotti has been the only one that's beat an indictment of this size. They couldn't put one on you. And I would think out of everybody, especially, what's that noise? Mute. Especially with everything that the source that they said represented, especially igniting cases, just beefs between the East Coast versus the West Coast, that they would definitely have some type of concrete evidence in trying to put a case of this statute on you, but they couldn't even do it on you. But then they come back and it's kind of like, I feel like Johnson and Johnson should be sitting in the courtroom to defend why they sold baby oil to Diddy and why we was out of baby oil during COVID. Go ahead, Benzino.
listen, my thing is this, of course it's an assault on black men. If they hit
Right.
Diddy with the RICO, they could take all his money. You see, the RICO enables you to take the money from every business possible because they feel like you're making money from a criminal enterprise. So that's why it was important. This is about taking down black men and taking their money, and they're going to use women. That's the number one tool against us right now is using women. So people want to say it's the powers that be, yeah, but they're using the black women to bring us down, our black women to bring our black men down, and that's what's happening.
Well, these women weren't black.
Listen, my thing is I don't condone no violence. I don't condone none of that raping and none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? But
Yes.
all that. Hey, Tasha, you crazy?
These women weren't black. They weren't black.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of them were.
Even
Some of
the
them.
women that's coming after Shannon Sharp, they not black.
No. I'm just saying it's women in general, but it surely shouldn't be us against us. Using us against
Right.
us. We got to be smarter. You know what I'm saying? We got to be careful because we don't. You see what I'm looking at Tyler Perry. I hope Tyler Perry ain't.
And
Because
that's a white man. That's a white man.
he's the last one left as far as having money like this in the entertainment industry. I mean, they
And
went
they
after
gonna come
Russell
get
Simmons,
that. And
everybody.
they gonna come get that.
Man, we got to be wiser.
They already suing him for $260 million. That's where it starts. Tyler got too big and too cocky, and you think you're going to take down Hollywood? Hollywood coming back to get that. We're going to get that, come back and split that. It's already happening before our eyes. He knows. That's why he's so adamant about rallying his audience to say, you guys know that I employ more black people in that pay job more than anyone. But he also has a white boy that's suing him that's saying that he paid that white boy more than he paid Taraji P that's out here campaigning for him for some asshole. I didn't even know asshole cost $1 million. Sean?
Man.
I think that it is more important for prosecution when they are going after these black men. To me, it's more entertaining to the world to watch black men go down.
Okay.
When you got like this, the lead of Abercrombie and Fitch, he's a white male. That really doesn't get the attention that it needs because he's a white man. People find that boring. But when it's somebody black, people are tuned in immediately because us as black people, we are deemed more as it's possible that all of this stuff is true. But then when it comes to another race or nationality going through this, then it's a higher probability that a lot of these things are allegations instead of facts. But when black people are being listed for something, then it's just like, oh yeah, let's get them. Ooh, let's take them down. And then they want to throw it on the back of black women, which is weird because a lot of times black women are not believed. This case
Hold on for a second, Sean. Benzino, I'm going to let you get back to the kids. I appreciate you hopping in real quick. They sent the jury home for the day. Okay, so we will be deliberating tomorrow. Let's see if they can figure out, a verdict tomorrow. But I was going to ask Benzino. I said, damn, Benzino. Shit, Jasmine. Zeno, do you feel, I know, real quick, yes or no, you think Diddy's guilty? You think he's going to jail? Damn, he gone. It's the second person this don't happen to. Shit, I appreciate it. All right, bye, Zeno. We'll have to bring him back tomorrow. He out with the kids. That's what's happening today. All these you know what my irritation is with my industry friends? They don't take life serious at all. I mean, that's a good thing. But like, if I tell Ray J 2:00 and he called me tomorrow, oh man, I got caught up into something. I'm coming. Well, what time is that? I'm coming. He ain't nowhere to be found. And then he gonna call me tonight talking about let's go live.
Right. Correct. When you about to lay down. Like you
I'm about to lay down. I don't do 1:00 in the morning. I got kids at the house that I gotta be there for. So I apologize, Winos, but this is what we've been going through all day. That's why I be liking the serious people like us because they asses be out partying.
Mm-hmm. Ray J only up during demon time.
No, I don't think he knows what time it is right now. I said we said 2:00.
Anyway.
But that's crazy. Shout out to Benzino for coming through. Shout out to Flame Road for coming through. And tomorrow we got a lot more lined up. However, Jasmine, play a clip from Rico real quick. Do we have any clips from Rico? Did you watch that interview, Sean? Hold on for a second, Sean. Give me a second.
Yes.
Sean, did you watch that interview with Rico?
Yes. Before I gotta hurry up and get in for Jasmine.
I know. Jasmine be like, Bobby.
Jasmine be quick on the draw. Jasmine like, okay, come on, boom, 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 boom. Love Jazzy thing.
I'm like, can I please? Okay. And what did you think of Rico?
I think that Rico has some explaining to do.
What type of explaining? Rico was a sex worker. And so for Diddy, he serviced Jane Doe, okay, and got $5,000 a pop for serving Jane Doe for 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What kind of first of all, let us hear from Rico real quick. Then I want your thoughts, and then we're gonna take some more viewers, and then we're gonna wrap this up for today for our live jury watch. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll probably be all day tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be able to join us tomorrow too. I know we're working the shit out of you. But yeah. Go ahead. We're gonna hear from Rico. And it should hurt. Was there any condom worn or anything?
Yeah, I wore a condom.
Did they ask you not to?
He asked me to come up with it, and she was like, yeah, I'm cool with that.
Now, there was some testimony in the court where one of the male sex workers said that they felt like Diddy and Cassie would go into the next room and Diddy would lick the semen off of.
What?
I can't believe you're not listening.
Oh God, no way. No way. I ain't see no shit like that. You said that they said they would go in another room. So how did they know if they go in another room?
Well, that's what he's saying. He's like, why would Diddy ask me to cut her vagina and take her into the next room and they would be gone for a long time? And I couldn't help to think. And maybe he was just over observing, trying to picture what was going down in the next room. But yeah, he said, I couldn't help but think because she didn't take a shower or nothing that he would be.
That fucked me up too. Cause that's when I went in the bathroom to take a shower, right? And that's when I see the bottles of baby oil. Like I walk in the bathroom and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I know it was like a baby. She used damn near the whole bottle of baby oil on me. Like at one point, I was like, "It's too much oil. Like it's enough." You know what I'm saying? I was like,
"That's sliding up and down." Y'all just
like I'm like, it's too much. Like enough of the baby oil shit. You know?
It's a possibility that it could have been some
nasty shit going on.
I've been married 20 years. When I'm done, I go take a shower.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. I'm in the shower thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, she ain't
right. Like, are you gonna come take a shower? So if she laid there and he went behind you and it turns him on for him to see something like that, what the male sex worker said on the stand kind of makes sense. Like Diddy was licking y'all semen off of her and then her. That interview is available now on TashaKLive.com. It is unpermitted for YouTube. So is the interview with Dave, the other freak off worker. And trust me, it'll be the best $12 that you've ever spent in your life because it goes down over on TashaKLive.com. Remember, it used to go down in the DM. No, it goes down on TK Live. Okay. Sean, what are your thoughts on that? Then we're going to hear from some of the viewers.
I was excited that Rico is actually attractive because I was getting really confused by the FOs because the majority of them are ugly. So I'm just, honestly, like the list, like Cassie, the people that she put, I was like, you poor thing. Like, my God. Like, it is like it was just getting worse and worse. So he is a nice looking guy. So, shout out to him for that. But I wonder what I really want to know from these freak offs. Did y'all feel like gay in the room with him? How did it make you feel? Like where did your mind go to trying to perform with a male there and you are the object of his affection, not the woman, because he can have her anytime he wants to. You are what he's interested in. He's not interested in the female. So how did that I want to know, like, how did that make you feel knowing that? Because to me, how I feel like Diddy does these FOs, in his mind, he is the woman. When he is doing the production, when he's telling them what to do, how to do it, I think that since these men, because Diddy likes straight men, I think that Diddy is attracted to heterosexual men. So the whole point of it's not a swinging thing, a voyeur thing to me. It's a Diddy trying to vicariously live through the woman and her sexual experience with a male that would never go after him. So that I think that's his fantasy within that moment. So how does it make them feel knowing that you are the desired one in the equation, not the woman? That's why they're just a dime a dozen. We don't care.
Dave did mention in his interview that's on TashaKLive.com now that there was a time that Diddy kind of sort of asked him if he was, no, I think it was Rico. It was Dave. And Dave talked about like Diddy going down on Cassie, but he went down on Cassie in front of him and he made sure that his butt was backed up to Dave.
Correct.
And every time like Dave would move to see Cassie, Diddy would move so his butt would be in the view of Dave.
Mm-hmm. Diddy wants to be a light-skinned or a beige woman, an ethnic or exotic woman. That's why he has a type when it comes to the FOs, not just the type in general. When it comes to the FOs, they all are similar looking to Cassie. So with the baby oil and body oil and lube and whatnot, with the bodies glistening, that's a part of the fantasy. That's a part of his fantasy. He wants to be glistening. He doesn't like ash or anything on himself. So that's why he makes sure that the woman and the male are both like overly done with the oil, so that the fantasy that he has in his mind, he could truly live out within that time, because he has done things with men. That's not allegedly. No, he absolutely have done things with men. Like
How do you know? How do you know, Sean?
How do I know?
Yes.
Besides the 4 lawsuits of men that have come forward that have stated.
True, and I've been waiting on the details of those lawsuits, but they haven't been uploaded into the system yet. I was trying to bring that information to this live, but they're not live in the Los Angeles Superior Court. So hopefully by tomorrow, when we're deliberating, we get to go and see what do some of those men say. I know one that's in jail said he was sodomized by Diddy, and it is on record that Diddy went to see him, and it is on record that Diddy offered him a settlement of $2 million to drop his case because he was suing Diddy and is actively suing Diddy. And so Diddy was like, hey, come take this money now. He said that he was sodomized by Diddy at a party years ago.
Well, Jonathan Oddie, one of the men that sued Diddy back in the day, the reason why Diddy allegedly settled so quickly with him, it wasn't due to the herpes allegation inside of the lawsuit. It was actually because he admitted that he and Diddy were having consensual SCX with one another. And Cassie was definitely there while it transpired. That's why it's hard for me to really rock with what Cassie's saying throughout her testimony, because she is leaving a lot out. I think that she is aiming things to help the prosecution arrest him, but not telling the whole story, in my opinion. I think that it got way freakier than what is led on, because I don't think, again, some people may be embellishing and not necessarily telling the truth when it comes to the lawsuits, but I do think that these men are telling the truth, and why they don't come forward. This is why, because they're not believed when they do. If he's watching his alleged girlfriend sleep with all of these other men,
and they were fairly in shape. These men were Tyler Perry style men.
Yeah, but what interest would you have in that woman then? My woman, to me, is going to be sacred. Most men, especially heterosexual men, their women are sacred to them. They'll go out in these streets and be with all type of, loose women. Is what they'll go out there and do. But when it comes to what they have at home, that's usually sacred, whether it's their wife, girlfriend, fiance. They usually don't want to watch.
Very hypocritical of men that they go out and they hit everything else, but then they want us to stay in the house and wait for them to bring back what they done got from that hoe.
True, that it is extremely hypocritical. They could cheat 50 times. You cheat on them one time, then all of a sudden,
hell,
hurt. You got to die. The house on fire. Like all of that. Just one time is all it took. It is a double standard. I do agree with that, but I do think that with Diddy using these women like that, the Jane Does, the Ginas, the Cass. Oh, did you hear that Gina was on TMZ?
Yeah, they caught her down there at the Whole Foods in the parking lot, saying that she wasn't scared of Diddy. She can't wait for Diddy to get out because Diddy finna pay her.
Well, she's still Team Diddy, and so is like Carisha and all of them, because they're
they waiting for Poppy. Go Poppy to come home. Yeah. Yes, they are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just got a $20 tip to spin my chair. Hold on for a second. 1, 2, 3, go Poppy, go Poppy, go Poppy. I need a go Poppy sign for tomorrow. Jasmine, can we make one, please? I'm gonna have it up. Go Poppy. Sis Carisha, girl, you were supposed to be out here out of everybody saying go Poppy.
She know better. She done lost so much because of Diddy. She lost her reality show deal.
What's gonna get it back when he get out?
Mm-mm. They were almost done filming. It was almost wrapped.
I still drop it, man. She know how much money she'll make?
Well, the network canceled it, not her. She didn't have nothing to do with it.
I'll be like, give me my shit back, bro. I'm going to YouTube.
Mm-hmm. I heard that allegedly Peacock was interested in her story too and picking it up, but they changed their mind and went with Nelly and Ashanti.
We got one more surprise guest that's going to be coming through in like 8 minutes, Sean. And then I'm going to let you go in like 20. How's that?
That sounds good.
Okay, cool. I do want to hear from one of our viewers. Who's waiting backstage? Jay, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh, you from Wisconsin? Turn your volume down just a little bit, cause you
Okay,
distorted.
hold on.
Okay.
What about now? What about now?
Very good. Very good. So what do you want? What is your take on everything that's going on? You think Diddy going home?
I don't know. I think that the real victim is Diddy. I think that
Sean,
here's
let
why
him
I say
talk.
this is why I say Diddy is the real victim. Because anytime a black man get money, right, he's subjugated to people to come attack him to tear him down. Primarily, it's going to be women. We have seen that with Tyson. We have seen that with R. Kelly. Even though they did, I don't see. It's almost like when you have a lot of money, especially as a black man, you don't really got that much power as a white man with a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
you are extremely vulnerable, although they tell you that you are powerful, but you are powerful in certain areas. But it's so easy. Majority of the black men that has been successful been took it down from a woman from a sexual abuse or sexual allegations. When you think of all of our prominent black men, right? Also, I think this jury, we should start having cultural based jury, meaning that the way white folks party is different from how we party, right? We party totally different from everybody else, but it seems like our black way is being criminalized. Everything that black people, I think Diddy have enough money that Diddy ain't doing nothing that nobody else, especially black in America, have done in these parties. Everybody go out drinking, popping STC pills, doing all kinds of stuff in these house parties. But Diddy just got enough money to actually act out his fantasy, and it's been criminalized. I do not see Cassie as no victim. Only time I see a woman or a man a victim, if something happened, I wish we go back to the old school victims. Something happened to you, you call the police, they investigate, they find out, you get it done right then and there. Boom. Okay, I'm okay with that. But if you participate in crimes, not 1 week, not 1 month, not 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you are no longer a victim. This is how they took down Bill Cosby, right? And then people coming out sorry I lied. So I do think that Diddy probably done pissed off somebody, and they trying to show him the lesson, right? And they got many ways. And it's also one of my last points is this. This is very intimidating to black men that want to inspire to be somebody. Because all I see every time a black man becomes somebody, it seems like they use our very own women. It don't have to be just our race, but just women in general. It's like booby traps. We always get taken down. Always. It's very few black men who have made it scot free to their death, right?
Mm-hmm.
Majority of black powerful men get taken down from a woman. Sexual allegations, abuse, it's something like that of that nature. Why is that?
I'm gonna start. Listen, I appreciate your advice on it. I ain't never went to no parties, did no ecstasy, no shit like that. So the house parties I
You
went to,
never
they passed blunts, they had gin, Seagram 7, shit like that. But I ain't never seen none of that.